complaining about the fact that he
This is a
received
quiet
no
channel.
support from that. I think Bode has some.
Yes, I
some
do.
links for us.
Oh, I got some leaks for you.
It's like simple
right.
shit like that. Nope, simple shit like that. If
I
he
need,
can't
I
answer
need
that
to break
publicly,
in. I need to break in because I need
More original every week. That's a goal.
Do you really actually get paid for that? Because you deserve money for that last one. That one was a fucking amazing setup.
I have no idea why that stinger works that way in XSplit. Missed. By the way, the moment Dirk came in, right during the intro, he's like, "Hey, this is a quiet channel." Like,
we were on the intro, that's why.
The pair of you just looked so lonely in here.
We're lonely.
To the viewers who are listening in at home and elsewhere, it was me and Eric in a room. Eric mutes himself while he runs the intro. So obviously I'm not going to sit here talking to myself like I'm an idiot. Then Dirk comes in and goes, bit quiet in here with literally...
No. I did more mean it was quite quiet in terms of the number of people you had. Rather than...
So instead of calling
it's the holidays.
Commenting on the volume, you should have said it's a bit lonely in here. And we've been like, yes, there is a very little number of us.
So... big thanks to Hydra Fleet for the follow. If you're watching the channel and you are not following, you should follow Imperium News because we got a lot of cool stuff on here. Meta Show comes up after us later today, 2 hours later after we end.
The fireside that comes first. So
we have fireside today. We actually, I guess we'll have.
Well, pretty much always fireside. It goes this bullshit fireside Meta Show.
Sometimes there's another meeting in between. We can't talk about it, but there might be another meeting. Okay.
So, how have we all been?
Hey, so yeah, that's a good one to start, Mist. How have we all been? How have you been, Dirk? Good?
Yeah, I've been alright, yeah. Yeah, tired, but doing quite okay. Events in the UK recently have left me,
I don't know how to take Goonie. Goonie DuPont, man. He's like, this bullshit is actually the best show nowadays. That's like fucking terrible. That's like is that a compliment? Is that a compliment or is that something horrible? I don't know, Goonie. I love you, Goonie, because you've been around for a while.
It's got to be a compliment, but also it's a very terrifying thought.
It is. It's hugely terrifying. It is. I'm seeing it is a compliment. That's what I'm going to take that as. My wife did enjoy her birthday. I got her something really big, and maybe we'll see it next show. But it was something very special for her, and we went out to dinner always, and she had burnt almond torte. Have you guys ever had that?
Is that like an almond torte that went wrong, but the chef was like, fuck it, we'll do it live?
I don't know why they call it burnt almond torte. I don't know. Basically, it's a yellow cake that is flavored almond. Okay.
Don't say.
And it has like a, I don't know if it's a buttercream or it's got a sugary icing, and then it's got sliced candied almonds all around it on the outside. You know what, Tyrant? As long as she enjoyed it, we're good. We're good because that's a lot of work, and I'm really not into that much work, man. So that's a lot of work.
I always enjoy watching this dwarf and team dwarf and elf talk. Who's
You must be the
dwarf
elf. I
and
must be the dwarf, because, you know, I gotta be. I gotta be. So, yeah, my wife had a good birthday, I think. Maybe. So, next birthday is my mother. And that is in a few days, actually.
Christ, it's all crammed into December with
So,
you, isn't it?
Well, if you look at just our immediate family, I have 3 kids, right? If you look at me, my wife, and the 3 kids, it starts in November, December, January, February, March, and we're done. I mean, that's like everybody's birthday. But between our extended family, like my mother, my father, my sister, some of the, and even some of my in-laws, right? Everybody, like November is like 5 birthdays, okay? And it's crazy. Everybody's born in the same 5 months. It's weird. It's very weird, very weird. So
I have like a November baby.
November baby? I was born on, I was actually born on election day. So total newbie here. Burnt almond tort, a unique. Oh yeah. Prantle. Yeah, well, we have Prantle's. Right, Prantle's Bakery is here where I live. By the way, that's Henry Prantle's place. It's 20 minutes down the road. So yeah, Huffington Post. Yes, best wedding cakes. Yes, I should have had but I was in Kansas City at the time. So newbie, just get the fuck on the show. I mean, why the hell are you out there watching and not on the show? I don't get it. So yeah, it's burnt almond tort. It is my wife's favorite. It is probably our family favorite cake. And it was good. And plus, of course, the kids like cupcakes, so I got snowflake cupcakes. I thought I was buying one cupcake. I'm like, I will have the yellow cake cupcakes made into a giant snowflake. They're like attached, right? And they just put icing and snowflake shit on top, right? No, I was buying 2. My wife goes, why do you have so many cupcakes? I'm like, I thought I was buying 1. I bought 2. I'm a guy in a bakery. That guy in a bakery, what's going to happen? He's going to buy a lot of shit. That's the way it works. Especially when he's like keto and he gets to go off keto for the birthday. So, yeah. Just watching Mist squirm.
Diabetes with extra steps.
He'll PM me on Jabber. Okay, I'm not logged into Jabber right now, Goonie, because I just rebooted my PC. So, after the show. Oaken Ralph, you just subscribed 25 months in a row. Thank you so much, Oaken Ralph. Look at that. I actually have the stuff working so that when you subscribe, it shows your bright little name. So, yeah. So, thank you, Goonie. Yeah, let me know, Goonie. We're always interested. So, Mist and I, before the show, we were planning what are we going to do for the holiday show, which is next Saturday, right before Christmas, right? So, we're going to see if we can do some really cool stuff. We're going to plan it all week and kind of work through it.
By planning it all week, we mean we're going to put it up till Saturday morning and then come up with a decision with a couple of hours to go.
No.
That's what we're going to do.
No, we'll talk about it Friday afternoon, minimum.
All I know is I've got a bottle of Prosecco that needs drinking, and if you were at the last Goon meet...
Oh, God.
What's the God? The God? Oh, by the way, I signed up for Christmas Eve to make a prime rib roast, so that'll be an interesting endeavor on my side. But Guy,
lots of pictures of your trial and error.
I'll do pictures. Yeah, I might do that. We have an old kitchen. We got to redo our kitchen, but okay, I'll do some pictures. We might do some baking too, because I've got the kids home all week and I'm off all week, and we're finally gonna make Soth's apple cake. We keep putting that off, so we're gonna make the apple cake and some other things and see what we have for the holidays. It'll be great. By the way, when it comes to the holidays, I am like old weird traditionalist, right? So it's actually snowing out right now, just as Santa started coming around the neighborhood. So we were talking earlier, and what you guys missed was I started hearing the fire truck siren going off. And I'm like, oh, wow, that really sucks. Near the holidays, somebody's got a fire truck's coming. That's rare. By the way, we don't ever hear police sirens or fire truck sirens. It's really rare around here. So it went on for 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Or I didn't realize it, didn't look it up. Santa comes around on the fire truck here and gives candy to all the little kids. So I send my daughter, who, by the way, is still in her pajamas at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. Okay. She's still in her pajamas. She puts her coat and boots on, and her brother and her go outside and sit in the snow waiting for the fire truck to come by the front to get a couple chocolate bars. Granted, yeah, hey, little girl, you want some candy? They're really good chocolate bars, newbie. I mean, they're Saris chocolate bars, so they're fantastic. So I sent my kids out into the cold and snow in their pajamas. Number one is home from college, and it's 1:12, and I woke him up from sleeping in after his finals. And by the way, number one brought me a beer, so we got a little Holly Jolly from Fatheads. Excellent. So that's my segment of the show, the first 10-minute segment. That was all mine. And coffee with amaretto or Bailey's, It's the holidays. I love this time of year. All right, so what are we going to talk about? Missed in your notes. Sorry, Dirk, if that drove you crazy.
Should we talk about the news about the Hypernet Relay that has flopped onto the scene? I'm going to use the word flopped because it was really good, and now it's
literally this news flopped is a great choice of words because it was coming, it was a whale, and then it flopped onto the deck of the ship that you're fishing from, and it turned out to be like a 2-pound snapper or something, just flopping about trying to breathe.
If I would have known before the show you were going to use that analogy, we would have primed and queued up the video of the people who tried to remove the whale from the beach, the dead beach whale, with the explosives. Okay?
Oh, God.
We would have queued that up.
Gas, wasn't it? That was built up gas within inside the intestines, and it just erupted or something like that.
I love newbie. Look at him. Look at him there, right? Hey, no more gambling. Oh, gambling's here. Yes, we went over the gambling's here. So what you're saying is Hypernet went nowhere. Is that what
No.
It went places.
Where'd it go?
We're specifically, I think, mentioning or referencing the Raven State issue. The headline gamble for the opening week. Legend trying to raffle off Blue Melon's Raven State issue.
Okay. And what happened with that there?
I think that was
complete.
It was 4 trillion-esque it was gonna create or something, Mr. Gordon?
So I've got the numbers in my head. So the asking price was 4 trillion. So that's the total price required. That includes the 5% fee that gets taken if the raffle is completes, but it doesn't include the 5% fee in Hypernet cores, which are paid as a supplement. So you could say that the 4 trillion also included the 596,000 hypercores, which had a conversion to Plex. We're talking 59,000 units of Plex, was effectively paid as a supplement price to be able to list the Raven State issue. And that was the gamble that was made to list this item. And since it didn't complete, everyone who bought a ticket got their 7.8 billion back per ticket. No other fees were due, no other fees were paid, and the Raven was returned back to its owner. However, CCP have literally had 59,000 units of Plex removed from the game because of that gamble, because of that bet.
So what you're saying is it's a Plex sink.
Oh, it's a huge Plex sink.
It's a huge, because Alex is unique. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm more than happy to be challenged on what I say on the internet. But if Plex can only enter the game from CCP, so it can only be can only enter the game when someone buys it with real life money. So the Plex on the market, the Plex in stores, all can be traced back to a credit card or payment being made to CCP. When Plex is removed from the game, like when people buy their skins, when people buy their subscriptions with it, when it is lost, when it is destroyed, it's removed, and more people then step in. That then produces an opportunity. The Plex price will slowly creep up because it's still needed, and then it's automatically recorrected by people selling from their stock. Because if I'm holding Plex, in my head I've got a price which I'm happy to sell at. That price is different to other people. So effectively, as the price of the asking price goes up on the market, more and more people chip in, and it keeps in balance, check and balance. So what we're seeing right now is another opportunity to just take Plex, which is on the market, and rip it out of the game, just throw it into the bin. But every Plex that has been ripped out has a price that can trace its origin back. Some Plex was worth more to CCP than others, smaller denominations buying. Some Plex was worth bigger. Remember, there was that 5 trillion. How much was that CEO position sold for? I think it was 5 trillion.
In Ranger Regiment.
Yeah, Ranger.
I think it was 5 trillion that they put in. Yeah.
So 5 trillion that was in Plex. So that if they literally said to CCP, we want 5 trillion ISK worth in Plex, they would have gotten a better rate than you would have buying 110 units of Plex on the Plex store. So you could argue that some Plex is worth less than others in cash, but it's all basically the same for quality. Yeah, Hypernet is just a good way of removing Plex from the market. The problem is it's quite hard to search, quite hard to find these items, and it feels like it's in beta right now. It feels like there's a lot of stuff they can add. They've used all their flashing animations for the end. They could add a ending now promoted section like on eBay. So you can have your ending now listing system here. These are promotional sales which have had extra cores paid, and you can have promotional listings.
Like eBay, pay an extra $1.49 and get your paid promotion or get first in the list, right?
Basically, it's the equivalent of like Google ad services whenever you search a thing.
I feel like that's
God.
we could go down. Instead of paying a 5% fee in cores, you can pay a 6% and be on the special person list, or the 7% of Plex and be on the ballers list, something like that. Because the hard thing is listing stuff and it being found. Because I put up a blueprint copy of a Vexor for 2 ISK per ticket.
So
it cost much more in cores, which was 1 core to actually list it, and it took time to sell because it wasn't something that can be found. It wasn't grabbed by the system and said, "Hey, this is an amazing offer. This is an amazing thing. You should buy this stuff now." It's a beta system, I feel.
The issue with that, Miss,
alpha.
The issue with that is very specifically mechanical with your blueprint thing. Because the way the system works, it recognizes that it's a blueprint copy. If you hover over it, it'll give you all of the like MET information. But the price that is actually shown as, the market price, the price that is shown as, the bit where they show numbers in green, and that's supposedly like within a good value for money on the market. That I think it works out like if the amount you pay for a ticket is lit up in green, then technically it's like 140% or less at the of the overall amount of that raffle is 140% or less of the market value. But with blueprint copies, it recognizes them and kind of displays or tries to find a market price for blueprint originals. So, like, your Vexor copy, if a Vexor blueprint original is 10 million ISK, it's going to value your Vexor blueprint copy at 10 million ISK market price.
I was listing these tickets. They worked out for 2 ISK each. There was 512 tickets, and I had him up for 2 ESC each. And surely then it should have been like pulled immediately to the front page and said
You
this
would
is
think.
the best thing ever. And that's the problem, mate. It feels like it's a beta product that's been given a full release, and hopefully we'll see extra stuff. I would like to see ability to do giveaway raffles where you can only buy tickets are free and you can only get 1 ticket per character. But for now, yeah, I would like to see also additional tickets being sold. 512 is not enough to sell. 512 tickets is not enough to sell a Raven, because this might get a bit complicated. But 512 tickets means that you need to find 512 people who are willing to pony up 7.8 billion ISK each. Now, a person can count as 2 people by buying 2 tickets. However, there's a large amount of people who don't have the money to gamble up at 7.8, so they could never be the 1 person out of the 12.
There's a really easy way to kind of describe what Mister's trying to say there. More tickets means each ticket can cost less. And if you think about it in terms of like real life lotteries, because that's effectively what this is, right? It's a real life lottery with a single cash prize at the end of it.
Well, it's not cash. It's a thing, right?
It's not cash. It's an item. But
like,
in the real life comparison is it's a lottery with 1 cash prize. You pay, $5 for this lottery. You might buy a ticket if the cash prize is looking to be particularly high. If the cash prize is looking to be okay, or you know that there are going to be a lot of people coming in on this, you might not go in for $5, but you might buy 2 tickets if each ticket is $1. Right? So ultimately, the really high value items, the AT ships, the really unique stuff, isn't going to sell on the Hypernet without the ability for players to go in for like a few hundred mil. Pocket change for a lot of players in nullsec at least is a couple of $100 mil. If they can kind of look at what they've got in their pocket, their spending money, their spare change, and go, I can put in for a couple of tickets on an AT ship that's worth a few $100 billion at minimum, they're more likely to do it. But to get the overall value of that AT ship to be what the seller wants it to be, you've got to have tons of more tickets available. You're talking about, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 tickets.
Yeah, so, well, it's the new, and by the way, they're talking about Summer Blink, right? This is just new, but it's a Summer Blink where CCP takes a piece of the pie, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, right? So let me just do a thing here in the chat, right? So, X up in chat if you think that this new hyperlink system is both good for the game and something that players are going to love. Okay? Put an X up now, and then we're going to do a different letter for if you think this is completely bullshit. So X, I love it. And we think this is great for the game. This is like our informal, this is the push to talk survey, ladies and gentlemen. Right? We should just put like a stupid thing up. Right?
Push to talk chat straw poll. Quick,
actually, but I want to do all the X's first, Goonie, and I'll do the Y's next. Right? Because I just want to see where our audience is and what they're thinking, right? So X, okay. So I'm gonna count, 10 seconds from now, and we'll be done with the X's, right? So, we'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. None. All right, everybody in chat, shoot Y's if you think Hypernet Relay is kind of dumb and doesn't really add anything to the game for players.
I mean, that seems pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, there was one X that snuck in there. I like Oaken, like a bunch of Ys, right? You're Xing Alchemisty if you like Hypernet Relay in the game in EVE Online, and you haven't fucking played EVE Online for fucking 3 weeks, so shut the fuck up, Alki. Just get out of the conversation. Right? Oh, by the way, if you're not logging into EVE, you need to log into your accounts, because don't we have, the 1382 days of the holidays, or whatever the hell? You have 26 days to get the 13 days in, and we're in day 2 of it, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, you've got 24 days left.
Yeah, 24 days to get your 12 or 13 days of Christmas. I don't know. So, basically, our audience thinks Hypernet Relay is dumb. So, I said this last week. Hypernet Relay is dumb.
That's something I would actually run with my spin Ionet hat on. The issue is, I like the idea of Hypernet. I'm not just saying this just to be the other person so we can start an argument or say stuff.
Just to clarify, Mistwarden loves anything that he can waste his money on.
Of course. And by the way,
I'm gonna be talking serious for a minute. This is me gonna be talking serious for a couple minutes. So,
we don't have serious bumper music for you, so just go.
I'm sorry, it's fine. So I found gambling with the Hypernet and spending money ridiculous, and I'm actually going to stop doing it. However, I acknowledge that a way to be able to sell these bigger, more expensive items and cut them up into smaller pieces as effectively is a good system to have in the game that has an official way to be able to do it. So do I like Hypernet in its current form? No, because I feel like there needs to be a ton more updates and features, better sorting algorithms, better everything, basically. That's basically what I feel like I need to think. However, I like that it's in the game, and I feel like it's a little bit of an improvement to be able to sell these expensive, more higher-end items, as well as make these higher-end items more available. However, I don't like the gambling aspect. I don't like the flashy music, the arcade style, because buying on the Hypernet is all sexy. You get the music, you get the flashing symbols, you get the addictive person, you get the addiction of it all. You have to always watch it to see if you've won type of attitude. Selling on it, nothing. It's like, here, push a few buttons, done. So,
have you made any money doing that?
I've made money pushing buttons. Every time I've sold an item, I've always made money. I've never made money trying to buy. And especially when we see people winning back their own faction Fortisars with only 4 tickets in, when we see people just winning expensive items like 1 ticket, you've always going to have that gambler's regret. I mean, I got gambler's regret playing a card game, Magic the Gathering, because it was this card that said roll the dice 3 times and you've got to win each roll and each ability gets better. And I messed up on the final roll and I called the wrong number. And I got gambler's regret in a children's card game. That's when I know I shouldn't be playing Hypernet, because I know I'm just going to lose all my ears.
Yeah. By the way, newbie, they need 24 days to do Christmas, because you got to get the Greek Orthodox Christmas in there that's after Christmas. So you got to get that in there. And by the way, yeah, I get it, 24 days thing, because, by the way, people travel, do things on the holidays with their family, so they miss days. And, hey. By the way, that still means you have a chance to log in. Like, most people are like, shit, I missed logging in yesterday. I'm not going to get the big prize, so it really doesn't matter if I log in anymore. This is smart on CCP.
Yeah, you can also trade the items as well. So you can actually trade these winter gift boxes, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's like the dumbest thing, because the boxes contain the skill points that you can get up to something like I think it's 650 or 750,000 SP.
All right, woo! Like, I need more SP.
If you've got like 3 or 4 Omega characters, and just to be clear on this, if you subscribe a character that's been alpha for like the first 12 days of your login campaign, on the last day you get all of the Omega rewards for the entire like backlog of the login event.
Mm-hmm.
So you could resub like after Christmas another 2 alts. Say you're down to 1 account, you resub two accounts. You can then pool somewhere in the region of 1.5 to 2.25 million SP on a single character just by trading these boxes off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your free alpha accounts that can also trade the boxes. I have somewhere in the region of 20 or 21 alpha clone accounts at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's another 2 million SP or what have you that I can just trade across if I can be bothered to log them all in. It's silly.
Well, I'll tell you what's silly is I don't have anything to use the XP on because fucking, Supers and Titans are shit now and nobody wants to fucking fly them and they're worthless because CCP made them worthless. So I got nothing to get SP for. So what do I care? Sorry. Yeah, that's my bitch. That's my bitch for the week. I'm like, what? It's the last thing I got to do on some of my characters, and I don't care.
My bitch on the free SP thing is that I've got over 2 million unallocated SP that I was like specifically
skill points. Sorry,
SP.
Yeah. Sorry,
skill points. I've got over 2 million that I'd been leaving specifically for the Alliance tournament. I was basically leaving it so that I knew if we needed something in an emergency, somebody to fly something, I could just inject it and go for it. And now I'm like, well, there's no Alliance tournament, but you've given me gambling. What the fuck is the point? What do I want to do anymore?
The gambling would be great if I could sell you ISK in the gambling. Because then I could create like real gambling.
Trading,
that's not real money trading. No, that's just ISK. It's just ISK. We're just trading ISK and things. You buy a ticket. I can make it so you could buy, the extra special ticket for a couple more ISK, and you could double. I want to create freaking Powerball, baby. That's what I want to do because those dudes are making bank. And by the way, I'll pay it out to you over the 20 years that that EVE's going to last forever. It's much easier feature to build. Alliance Tournament requires a special build of the EVE client. Come on, Kearney.
It just needs the tournament tools, which we had until nobody bothered to maintain them. It's one of those things of, especially the Alliance Tournament on the live server, which is where, just, as a point, all of the Alliance Tournament matches that anybody cares to watch actually take place. It just requires the tournament tool to be maintained, but they don't have any devs for it because they don't want to allocate dev time. They've come pretty much right out and said that they're not going to allocate dev time for it. So
yeah, that brings me back to Hypernet Relay. By the way, I don't hate gambling from adult level. I just don't like it because you can't control whether kids are gambling in this game, and fucking just having an opt out doesn't cut the mustard. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to.
There should be an opt in. Actually, it should be opt in. However, when the only thing that this is, they think that players want it. Clearly, our audience doesn't. Small sampling, right? We do probably have half of the subscribed players that watch the show. So at this point in time in EVE, I don't think this is something the players want, and I think this is purely a new revenue stream. And I think they think that the new Asian Korean population will eat this up and love it. And I don't think it's going to fly. Like I said, 60 days. This thing is, nobody even talks about it anymore.
The thing is,
but I think this is purely about revenue streams for CCP. I don't hate CCP getting new revenue streams. I'm all for it, actually, but I want those revenue streams to be something that the players want.
It's not necessarily a new revenue stream. The thing that Mistwarden touched upon earlier with, his whole credit cards for Plex and Plex having different values for the different packages that you buy. And he also said, you buy Plex from CCP via the secure.eve online store or what have you, and that is money that goes on their revenue books. But they don't get to cross it off as profit revenue until the Plex is spent.
Yeah,
so
but
it's on different accounting books. So
I'm not sure that's
crossing
true.
More money into their...
Because I don't think that they're even tracking Plex as a liability on their books anymore. They stopped that 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Did they stop doing that?
They stopped counting them as a liability, which we couldn't figure out why at the time, because Plex, if I turned 500 of them in, at the time it was one of them, I got a month of game time. That's a liability, and it should be a liability on the books. And it's excellent that they're getting the liability out of the game, by the way. And that's what this is actually designed to do. This is actually designed to Plex sync and get it out of the game. I guarantee you. That's all it's about.
I mean, we've seen this a lot. You know, we saw injectors that had a Plex cost up front. We saw it when they decided to get rid of Aurum and make Plex the single currency that they used, and that does decrease complexity, and it does, make things a lot more straightforward. But it also means that, now instead of you taking a certain amount of your Plex and turning it into Aurum and just using that for ages, now you have to have the item that has a direct cash.
Yeah, but again, they dropped it from the books as a liability, and it should have absolutely been maintained as a liability. It just vanished when they made it from 1 to 500. And that made no sense, because for years they had counted as liability, and it is game time that people will or will not spend in the game. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad that they're doing that. I'm just saying it's technically an accounting liability. It just is.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know Carneros is debating it. Carneros, if you want to debate whether it's a liability, just come on the show. You can just hop in the channel anytime you want.
I mean, in case of buying game time on credit, somebody's already paid for somebody's 1 month of game time, or some more skins, or Hypernet Gamble. But the thing is, though, as people might bash the Hypernet Relay as a bad feature implemented by CCP, it's currently the main bad feature that can actually start to pay back itself. Because every item listed on the Hypernet Relay is slow at dev time. It's direct money that is effectively going back for the time it took to develop it. So there's a good chance that Hypernet might actually pay for itself. Which is okay, I think, maybe.
No, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they capitalize development anyway, so, it's not like it's an expense. It's a capitalization for new code. Whereas maintaining code is generally expense side on the books in IT. So when you look at... and the other thing they did to convolute Plex when they got rid of Aurum, this is a good thing, Dirk. It's the accounting show now, right? So when you look at it, right...
Where's Caleb when you need him?
No. So when you look at it, right, and this may be where they legally get out, where their lawyers say it's muddy enough that we can get away with some of this stuff, when they looked at the gambling side of things. Because, now, when you look, hey, I buy Plex for money, and is Plex a currency or not, right? This is where it gets very money, folks. If I can change it into game time, that's very clear. That has actual real value. It's a service. There are a number of states in the United States that clearly define that as having value in the game, right? But once you muddy the water with that, and you say, oh, but you can buy skins, right? And now you can buy these Hypernet Relays with it and things like that. So they become things in the game. They, like skins, clearly just pixels. If CCP shuts the game down tomorrow, doesn't matter if you have $3,000 in skins, they're worthless, right? So that's where, hey, they say when you can buy something that's technically worthless in the game, it's not really a currency, and that's where they may have the muddied waters on that legally. So that would be interesting.
So, anyway.
So what else are we going to talk about? So we got 20 minutes left.
I've got something that I do want to talk about as something that I think is a really cool part of actually going back to the Christmas event, the Christmas login stuff.
Okay.
And I think the thing that's a really cool part of that here is the filaments. Now, these are not Dead Space Abyssal filaments, although you do get some of those in some of these boxes. These are filaments that are used up until a deadline. I believe I've heard the 7th of January thrown around as a deadline on these before they will turn into abyssal filaments. But up until the 7th of January, these are filaments. There's like, I think 9 different types with 4 different numbers in terms of the affected fleet members. But you can activate these anywhere in space with your fleet, and you can take up to a particular ceiling of players through this filament into a random nullsec system.
Say that again?
So, yeah. These filaments will teleport a fleet of, depending on the filament that you use, up to 25 people to a random system in nullsec from wherever they are in real space. I'm not sure if wormholes count for this, but at the very least, if you are anywhere in K-space and you use one of these filaments, it will teleport you to a random nullsec system. Holly in chat saying wormholes do work here. Carnaris, I believe that the filament has to be activated by the FC.
You have to be in a senior position. You basically can't go up next to somebody's ratting battleship in the fleet and just activate it and be like, "We're going on an adventure, Mr. Random Ratter."
Can you imagine having a spy in a fleet and it didn't have to be the FC and they're about to go in battle and they're in there with like their super capital fleet filament? Boom. God.
Okay, couple of caveats on this. It is sub-capital ships only.
It's not a lot of fun. It really takes all the fun out of it for me.
Well, I mean, you like your big toys. That's cool. But I'm quite interested because obviously this maxes out at 25 people.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened recently was an alteration to command destroyers in the boost module. Which also caps out at 25 people. So I think this is CCP kind of trying to give something back on that kind of style, but I think it's cool, This is a way to avoid a bunch of intel tools, a bunch of intel channels, kind of...
Yeah, but you don't know where you're going to end up. I mean, you could end up...
Doesn't matter.
You could be in Delve and end up in Delve.
I mean, that would be awkward. But, you could be in Delve and suddenly be behind enemy lines in, like, I'm drawing a blank on the region name. Test zone region.
I mean, you're gonna take a fleet. It's like spinning the bottle. Do you get the hot girl or the ugly girl? I mean,
All girls are equal.
So I really shouldn't have said that on the show. I'll probably be banned shortly, but yeah. So I mean, I want to address somebody in chat here. So Kaiser, what do you mean? Feel relaxed. Watch this show. We're very relaxed, very mellow.
Can I go down a little bit?
Cardiros is killing me.
Mellow.
Can I go down a little rabbit hole? Can I dive down the rabbit hole for a little
You can
bit?
go down whatever rabbit hole you want, Miss Watson.
Yeah, because you're not... By the way, you can go down whatever rabbit hole you want because you're not Caleb. Caleb's not allowed to go down rabbit holes. You, however, do whatever you want.
So about a month, a bit ago, I made like a joke about us being able to construct world arcs and then be able to literally, because the way world arcs is they open up that portal and the ships go through and bad things happen. Now, I made a joke that players being able to build these world arcs to be able to bridge ships from effectively one side of the game to the other game. Basically get some instant PvP. Now, since then, we've had Sinos put onto recons, which would be the ship that scouts out your target, scouts out your little target. It's got its Sino ready to go. It's got its special Sino for the world arc. You've now got CCP testing with people if they're okay to send 25 ships on a random adventure. What the seeing if that works within the game, if that's the thing that can actually work when implemented. The world arcs are being pulled back. They're not being used at the moment. They're using the dreadnoughts. And then the lore is that these filaments have been made by Frostline, and they're like, yeah, we're kind of working with Triglavian technology that we found, and we just want you guys to field test this stuff. Here, have fun. So I think we're slowly getting to a situation where we're going to have effectively world arcs that can use special Sinos to bridge a small fleet through onto anywhere in nullsec. And to be honest, that type of shake-up is semi-needed because EVE is slowly just possibly...
Honestly, don't utter the meme or I'll have somebody slap you again.
It's instant, so we got instant PvE, get a little bit of instant PvP, because the biggest argument is like how long it takes for us to stage stuff. Like if we want to go kill supers up north, we need to stage dreadnoughts, we need to move them into position, we need to make sure, we need to do everything possible to get those dreadnoughts in position. That takes a lot of time. If we can just put a recon up there like this special Sino and send a battleship fleet through a world arc for a little bit of instant PvP, then I don't know. I mean, they've introduced gambling and random filaments. I feel like we could go in any direction right now.
Yeah, no, this isn't instanced. This is Mistwarden's rabbit hole. Just, yeah.
The thing is, it's testing if it's possible to do it in the game, to be able to teleport people randomly, if it's something they could actually program, and what people react. It's like putting their toes in the water. It's like, are you guys cool with the idea of teleporting 25 battleships somewhere randomly in EVE? Do you know why I like it, though? Do you know why I like the ability to randomly teleport anywhere in EVE? It's because we can get through to anywhere. So we can jump in direct into Pandemic Horde's staging system. We can go into deepest reaches of the drone lands. We can go into the furthest reaches of test space, up everywhere, and just literally be able to spread the message that AMOC is recruiting.
Oh my god.
I was waiting for it.
That is possibly the most terrifying aspect of the feature rabbit hole that you've just dove down. Really. That's worrisome.
Brings a tear to my eye.
Thought. But so. Yeah, Vice or Virtue in chat, Christmas filaments are great, but he'd rather CCP do something to actually decrease the number or effectiveness of intel tools. Still feels like it's too easy to know exactly where they are and what they have. I mean, immediate response, 60 to 120 second actual delay on showing up in local. You know, you'll turn up in local at some point, but after you jump in, you get a little bit of time as the hunter to like warp around a bit, see what's what, maybe, you know, try and jump on some AFK guys, and if you can't manage it within that time frame, suddenly you pop up in local and people in the system can see you, see that you're coming, and kind of sound the alarm. It's really a question of, can you be quick enough at that point? You're racing against the clock.
Enough?
I think
Are you good enough?
I think these filaments, coupled with proper like surveillance structures, surveillance, and a proper blackout, not an easy blackout where they just turn the stuff off. That actually managed by structures and.
No more structures.
No more structures.
I can see where you're going with like the whole idea, but really these things should be service modules on like a Fortizar rather than new structures, because more structure spam is something that nobody needs.
I don't understand where that comment comes from. I love the silence after that. That's just beautiful. I love it.
Okay, we'll comment.
You guys just didn't know what to say. Is he serious? Does he want more structures? No.
But it's that bit where I can even see where you were coming from, because it's like, more structures needed. Need more keep stars to dock my big toys that I don't use in.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm seriously, I'm confused with. When did CCP say we get our first quarterly roadmap?
Early next year.
Early next year.
I'm kind of expecting
somewhere like 2 quarters after we tell you we're going to give you a quarterly roadmap, we'll give you a quarterly roadmap. Because wasn't it like, the first thing on that roadmap is to create a roadmap?
Yeah, it was like, we're going to be giving you guys roadmaps, and here is how we're going to be creating these roadmaps. This is our roadmap for roadmap. And it was a bit weird. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping.
Was this moment when I was asleep and I woke up to a very upset-looking Hilmar next to a fish tank? So I'm pretty sure he looked me right in the eye. I think this was the reaction of like.
Hold it. Say that again, because I was like reading chat, not paying attention to what you were saying.
I pretended to wake up. For reference, for the EAVE London meetup, I was second in a row, and I think I saw disappointment in Hilmel's eyes as they realised that I woke up halfway through his talk. And all I saw was him, I think it was in the burger arrived next to him, a giant fish tank, and me just not understanding what I just missed for the last half an hour.
And you didn't care, did you?
I was just like, I was like, what's he said? Anything? I just scrolled through like Discord. Did he say anything useful? And it's like, no. And so I just saw the disappointment in his eyes as I woke up, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. The worst part of that talk was that Hilmar and Berger spent like 50 minutes rehashing the last year instead of actually talking about, you know, things going forwards and what have you. It was a weird one.
That should have taken less than 10 seconds to rehash the previous year. And I'm going to do it for I'm going to do it for you guys live. Less than 10 seconds.
Gosh.
I'm going to rehash. Yes.
Fuck it.
The last year at CCP. This is what Hilmar should have said. We fucked up. We're sorry. There you go. That's your summary, right? I mean, does anybody disagree with that summary? In chat, do you guys disagree with that summary? I mean, that should be what CCP said.
I think there's
Do you guys missed? I mean, Dirk, am I wrong?
My favourite other part was Hilmar saying, "Don't worry, there'll be a dev change for you guys to fight over," and the devs be like,
I'm just in the position of like, over the last 18 months or so, I've very much shifted back into a mentality of watch what they do, don't listen to what they say.
Yeah.
And that's
not
kind
really
of
helping.
That's kind of unfortunate in my opinion. I really wish it weren't the case. But yeah, it's really a question of like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Not what they say they're gonna do. You know, with this roadmap, I'm really hoping with this roadmap that they come into 2020 really hitting the ground running, you know? They drop the roadmap in the first, like, week back in the business kind of thing. Because I appreciate that they're probably going to be on holiday until, I'd say...
This is...
Probably the first week of January, I would think. That's reasonable. People will be off holidaying, you know, traveling. Iceland is a barren rock that you do not want to be on in the winter. I get that. But coming back to work in the new year, I hope that they drop it in like the first week, the first 10 days. This is our roadmap. This is where we're going. I hope you can support this kind of deal.
I am convinced that we need to share with our audience. We need to start doing some polls and tracking them. Okay? We need to sit there and say, like, when is CCP going to release their roadmap? Like, and then give them a couple options, and then track that, and share it like a weekly tracking poll.
Yeah,
we need to start doing
I'd be
that.
down with that. But yeah, I
March. That's. If it doesn't happen by March, it's not going to happen, and I think March is probably a good month.
Yeah, like.
So.
I reckon it won't come until early February.
What? Oh my God! It's been an hour already. Holy crap!
Let's not be Hilmar. Let's end it on the hour.
All right.
If no one else who was there at London, Hilmar was repeatedly told that he had a 5-minute warning every 5 minutes.
He blew way past his 5-minute warning. He blew way past his 1-minute warning. Like, if you go back and watch the VOD,
no.
Raiden Harmon of Streamfleet Leadership actually had to go out on stage with her microphone, interrupt them, and basically be like, guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know you're in the middle of something, but we do need to kind of move into the AMA. So if you guys could just shuffle your chairs along, and there was this really awkward bit of like CCP Burger and CCP Hilmar kind of shuffling their armchairs along while who was it? Was it Falcon and somebody else?
Definitely
basically
Falcon.
No, not Falcon. Fozzie. Was Fozzie there?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, while a couple of other CCPers basically come out from their wings carrying this sofa, live on stage, lights are all on, you know, no real kind of coordination because Hilmar had just kept on talking. It was just like one of those moments of how do you not pay attention to those warnings?
Because you're in charge of the company and you don't care. You're the boss. What do you care, right? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So one last thoughts before
round the table, miss. You're up.
Triglavian Dreadnoughts. They've made the loot tables a bit better, so we're actually seeing the drops of the blueprints, so Hilmar can finally claim one of his dreadnoughts that he wants when he means like one of those big Triglavian things. I don't think it's seen any action yet. I'll look at Zedkill, but I don't think any. Has any been built yet at all? That is.
I think there's been a couple built at this point. I know Brisk Rubal won a Zenitra blueprint on the Hypernet and then immediately flipped it for something in the region of a 6 billion-isk profit instead of building his own like he wants to. So, you know. I
think there needs to be an investigation into that, headed by Falcon.
The prints are going for like 8 billion at the moment. So it's not in a position that they wanted it to be. Obviously, they wanted this to be an affordable faction dreadnought. So hopefully, with the extended drop rate, we should hopefully start to see something.
Okay. According to Zkill, actually, I am not seeing any ship capability for any ships showing up for Zenitras. It would appear that that can't be right. Surely that can't be right. Somebody must have killed something with a Zenitra or horde on something.
Crazy.
Surely somebody's used one by now.
Maybe not. So that's my last thing. Hopefully the dreadnoughts do get a little bit cheaper
as
we go along. Eric?
I call who's next. You know.
No, we're doing reverse. We're flipping on its head. It's like reverse. It's a reverse podcast this year, so I'm calling it now.
It's Dirk's.
Mr. Warden's taking
Dirk's,
over.
It's Dirk's turn.
Yeah, I think really the thing that's got me thinking, you know what, this is a really cool thing, is these teleporting nullsec filament things. I think it'd be really interesting to see what would happen if you could maybe get, you know, a few more people through it. Not a full fleet, but like maybe 50 guys. You can do a lot with 50 guys. That's like a reasonable sized roaming caracal fleet. So if you don't have the time investment of having to burn, you know, 30 jumps from Delve or whatever to get to content, that's a really cool thing. I definitely support that kind of expansion on that, and maybe making it a bit more of a regular thing. You know, without this expiry date, just make them a bit kind of a rarer drop in some kind of PvE somewhere, maybe ore space or whatever.
Well, the lore is that a company is basically testing these.
Yeah, that company is involved with the Upwell consortium in the lore as well, so, you know. It's all Upwell doing these things now. It's just a question of which aspect of Upwell is doing it. But yeah, I want to make this a thing where, you know, you've got to put in some effort if you want to put a huge amount of guns on a field, but a moderate amount of guns that basically any smaller group can kind of at least think of combating. I think that's a cool little midway mechanic that could happen. And
I think 25 is a little small, and I know why they did that limitation, right? They don't want you putting like a whole fleet out there, but 50 I think would be a little better. That'd be a little nicer.
50 gets you, you know what, 30 caracals, 10 logi.
Yeah, one of those, like, let's get drunk and teleport somewhere and die fleets. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. And a few other people, you know? That gets you some tacklers and what have you.
Yeah, that would be fun. So here's my one last thing. Okay? Non-EVE related. Everybody out there, tune in next week. I think we're going to have a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's not going to be a lot of negative. It's going to be a fun show, and we want you. We're going to try and see if we can figure out a way for audience participation. So, I think it's going to be a fun show. I got some ideas. I'll bounce them off you early in the week. Early in the week, Mist and Dark. Not Friday. Okay, or Saturday morning.
What do you mean I can't throw you an idea like 2 hours before you go live?
No, absolutely. You can. No. We can always do that.
Make it happen, Eric.
we can always do that. We love that. I mean, that's fine because interesting things happen late in EVE, and you want to try and pull them in and everything, right? Or you just get an idea. But my one last thing. So there's a couple people through EVE that I'm real life friends with, like Alchemisty, Total Newbie, Demorg. I mean, we Scythe, right? We hang out in real life and we go visit each other and things like that, right? So I'm going to explain. I have a little bit of, I don't know how to express it, but it's with Scythe. I'm not sure, I'm unhappy with him. Okay, I'm unhappy with him because a long time ago he made me start to read the Expanse books, and I just couldn't read the books. And I love to read. I love to read stories, but the Expanse, I can't stand reading it. Okay, I hate it. So the book's just sitting there, all of them, unread. However, he said to me, Eric, he goes, since Amazon took over the Expanse, it's been phenomenal. By the way, it's season 4, right, of the Expanse is out there today.
If you haven't watched it,
I just started watching season 4, episode 1, and I don't think I've watched it since second season, right? I didn't watch the 3rd season, so I watched season 4, and I'm like, God damn, this is good under Amazon. This is like the Jack Ryan series addiction, Mandalorian addiction, right? I'm like,
Amazon are doing some great
they
stuff.
Really are. And so my last thing is, if you gave up on the Expanse, I texted them today. I'm like, screw you. I didn't use that word. A little more colorful. I hate you. Now I have to watch all the Expanse episodes that I didn't watch because I'm in season 4, right? So my wife sat down this morning and she's like watching she's in episode 1 of season 4, right? And she's like, I don't understand any of this. I'm like, well, this and this and this and this and this. This is what I know from season 1. So, and we're sitting there going, I think we've got to watch all the episodes. She hasn't watched. Yeah. She hasn't watched. She's like got snippets of Mandalorian, so she has to watch Mandalorian now. Now she's got to watch The Expanse. It's gonna be.
Yeah, honestly, like I think I've watched the Expanse seasons 1 through 3 like 3 times now, and I still enjoy it. And you know, it's definitely worth the rewatch. But season 4 has really just I'm 2.5, 3.5 episodes in, something like that, and it really has just come out swinging.
Hold it, I don't understand what Prince Paradox says here. Who is this child you are chatting with?
I think he's referring to our lovely elven friend.
Oh. Anyway, I think we're done here. It's getting a bit hostile.
Baby face.
Yes, the
It's
elf.
a bit hostile in here, so I want to withdraw.
Yeah, hostile. So we are out of here. Make sure you come back next Saturday for the holiday show. Who knows? I may even have a video of me and the children doing some holiday things, something strange. Anyway, we're in full throttle holiday mode here at the Casa de Asmach. But if you don't make it, we'll miss you. And we have a lot of holidays in December here. I'll explain that next week. So, hey, Dirk, thank you, and Miss, thank you for hanging out. And by the way, Miss, what city are you in this week?
I'm currently in London town.
London town.
I'll decide a city for Christmas. I might get like a Christmas scene for the next week.
I gotta have like my extended one last thing. So I've got to ask you guys in Europe something, right? In the United States, okay, it used to be huge. It's fallen off because people don't send as many greeting cards anymore. But Hallmark Cards Incorporated, right? They started with Hall's department store, the Hall family, Hallmark Cards. By the way, that starts the 22nd, Prince. So do you get, like on cable here, we have several, because Hallmark Cards makes more money on their TV stations than they do in the Hallmark card business. Okay, they started they have the Hallmark channel. Do you guys get that outside of the United States? Is that such a thing? Do you know?
I'm not aware of it, but then I'm not really very aware of cable TV stuff.
I don't own a television.
So
I do all my internet.
Nor do I.
So Hallmark Cards has always really loved Christmas. They have like 1 million sappy Hallmark Christmas stories. However, they flip one of their stations into what they call the Happy Yule Log soon. I don't think it's set up yet. I have to go check. My kids were asking, do we have the Happy Yule Log channel yet? My daughter, who's 9, right? Because they do things like they'll alternate. They'll show like puppies or kittens or something like that. She's hoping for panda bears, but she's not going to get panda bears. Like puppies or kittens, like frolicking around the room with a fireplace, and then they play Christmas songs, right? And they just stream it. I mean, that's just all that channel from Hallmark does, right? In 8K, the Happy Yule Log. So look out for that if you're at least in the U.S. So yeah, pets near the fire. That I always, I always really secretly want one of the little cats to go in the fire. I know that's terrible and evil. Not the puppies. You can't do that to puppies, but cats. What? Yeah, well, it's a cat. There's a lot of cats in the world. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want that on any animal, to be clear. But the Happy Yule Log's kind of funny. All right, so we are 10 minutes over, and we are out of here. Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Dirk. And next week is the holiday episode, so make sure that you come and join us and bring your friends. All right, man. We will see everybody next week. Later.
permit. I don't care if you buy a permit. Do you know how little I actually care if you have a permit?
Complaining about the fact that he received no support from that. I think Boat has some.
Yes, I
some
do.
leaks for us.
Oh, I got some leaks for you.
It's like
Can't
simple
get right.
shit like that. No, simple shit like that. If
I
he
need,
can't
I
answer
need
that
to break in.
publicly,
I need to break in because I need.
More original every week. That's a goal.
Do you really actually get paid for that? Because you deserve money for that last one. That one was a fucking amazing setup.